The last 48 hours have shown us something that nobody in the Lakers organization wants to admit out loud. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for all the latest updates, breaking news, and deep analysis on our beloved purple and gold. I'm here to bring you the insider information you need to stay ahead of the game, and trust me, what I'm about to break down today could completely reshape how you view the rest of this season. So make sure you stay with me until the end, because this conversation goes way deeper than most people realize. Let me paint you a picture of where we are right now. 23 wins, 18 losses. On paper, that looks like a team that's competing, right? A team that's in the mix. But here's the thing that should concern every single one of us who bleeds purple and gold. The underlying numbers are screaming that this isn't sustainable. Our net rating tells a story that the win-loss record is trying to hide. We're not playing like a championship-caliber team, and if you've watched the last two games against San Antonio and Milwaukee, you know exactly what I'm talking about. San Antonio. Milwaukee. Two losses that expose some fundamental issues with this roster. And I'm not here to panic or overreact, but I am here to tell you the truth. The truth is that this team, as currently constructed, has some serious vulnerabilities that playoff teams are going to exploit mercilessly. We're seeing it already. Teams are figuring out how to attack us, how to expose our defensive weaknesses, how to make us uncomfortable on both ends of the floor. But here's where it gets interesting. The Lakers' front office isn't sitting on their hands. They're actively exploring options, having conversations, looking at every possible avenue to upgrade this roster before the trade deadline. And when I say every avenue, I mean they're looking at some scenarios that might surprise you, some that might even excite you if you remember the glory days of 2020. Let me take you back for a second. October 2020, the bubble. The Lakers just won their 17th championship. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and a supporting cast that knew exactly what their roles were. Every player on that team understood the assignment. They defended at an elite level, they moved the ball, they made winning plays. And one of the most crucial pieces of that championship puzzle was a player who doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he brought to that team. I'm talking about a 3-and-D wing who could guard multiple positions, who hit big shots in crucial moments, who understood the magnitude of playing for the Lakers. Someone who's been there, done that, and has the championship pedigree to prove it. Not just one ring either. This player went on to win another championship after leaving L.A., proving that his impact wasn't a fluke, proving that he knows what it takes to win at the highest level. Now, you might be wondering where I'm going with this. Stay with me because this is where things get really intriguing. The Lakers are currently exploring trade scenarios that could bring back some of that championship DNA. They're looking at their roster, looking at their assets, and asking themselves a critical question. What's more important right now, financial flexibility for the future, or maximizing our championship window while we still have LeBron James and Anthony Davis in their prime? The reality is that LeBron isn't getting any younger. He's still playing at an incredibly high level, still putting up numbers that would make players half his age jealous, but Father Time is undefeated. We don't know how many more opportunities we're going to have with this core. Anthony Davis is healthy right now, playing some of the best basketball of his career, and we need to take advantage of this window while it's open. So let's talk about what this team actually needs. First and foremost, we need perimeter defense. Teams are shooting over us, around us, and through us from beyond the arc. We're allowing opponents to get comfortable from three-point range, and that's a recipe for disaster in today's NBA. We need someone who can guard the opposing team's best perimeter player, someone who can make life difficult for the Steph Currys, the Damian Lillards, the Donovan Mitchells of the world. Secondly, we need more consistent three-point shooting. I know we have some shooters on this roster, but we need someone who you can count on to knock down the open three when LeBron or AD kicks it out. Someone who doesn't hesitate, who has the confidence to take and make big shots. That kind of floor spacing is absolutely critical for how we want to play offensively. Third, and this might be the most important thing, we need championship experience. We need players who have been through the wars, who've played in high-pressure playoff situations, who know what it takes to win when the games matter most. Chemistry is important, but there's no substitute for players who've actually hoisted the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Now here's where it all comes together. According to sources close to the situation, the Lakers have been in discussions about a potential trade that would address all three of those needs simultaneously. We're talking about bringing in a player who checks every single box I just mentioned, a proven defender, a reliable three-point shooter, and a two-time NBA champion who knows exactly what it takes to win. The name that keeps coming up in these conversations? Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Yes, KCP, the same KCP who was instrumental in our 2020 championship run, the same KCP who went on to win another ring with Denver, proving that he's a winning player wherever he goes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, KCP isn't the same player he was in 2020. He's not putting up the same numbers, he's a few years older, and his game has evolved. But here's the thing, we don't need KCP to be a star. We never needed him to be a star. What we need is exactly what he provides: solid, consistent, winning basketball. He's still a capable defender who can guard multiple positions. He's still shooting over 37% from three-point range this season. He's still making smart plays on both ends of the floor. The financial aspect of this is interesting, too. KCP has a $21 million player option for next season, which means any team trading for him needs to be comfortable with that salary. But for Memphis, where he's currently playing, that money might be something they're looking to move. They're in a different stage of their competitive cycle, and if they can get some assets while clearing some salary, it might make sense for them. For the Lakers, the question becomes, are we willing to take on that money beyond this season? Rob Pelinka and the front office have been very careful about maintaining flexibility for the future. They don't want to be locked into bad contracts that limit their options down the road. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, what's the point of having flexibility if you're not using it to maximize your chances of winning a championship right now? The proposed framework would have the Lakers sending out expiring contracts to Memphis in exchange for KCP. We're talking about players whose contracts come off the books at the end of this season, which gives Memphis immediate financial relief. For LA, it means taking on KCP's salary, but it also means adding a player who has proven he can contribute to championship teams. Let me break down what KCP would bring to this Lakers team right now. First, the defensive versatility is huge. He can guard positions 1 through 3 comfortably, which means we can switch more on defense without worrying about mismatches. Against teams like Phoenix, Dallas, or Golden State, having someone who can stay in front of quick guards or strong wings is invaluable. He's not going to lock down everyone, but he's going to make them work for everything they get. Offensively, KCP's three-point shooting would give LeBron and AD so much more room to operate. When you have legitimate three-point threats on the floor, defenses can't help as aggressively. They can't load up on drives to the basket because they know KCP will make them pay if they leave him open. That floor spacing is the difference between a good offense and a great offense. But the most important thing KCP brings is something you can't quantify with statistics. It's the championship mentality, the understanding of what it takes to win in the playoffs. He's been in the trenches with LeBron and AD before. He knows their tendencies, knows how they like to play, knows how to complement their games. That continuity, that familiarity, is worth its weight in gold. There's also something to be said for bringing back a fan favorite. Lakers fans remember what KCP did in 2020. They remember the big shots, the clutch defense, the winning plays. There's already a relationship there, already a connection with the fan base that you don't get with just any player. That matters in a market like Los Angeles, where the pressure can be overwhelming for some players. Now, let's be realistic about the challenges here. The biggest question mark is whether the Lakers front office is truly committed to making a win-now move. There's been some mixed messaging about their approach to this trade deadline. On one hand, they want to compete for a championship this year. On the other hand, they're being very cautious about taking on future salary commitments. Those two philosophies don't always align, and that's where the difficulty comes in. If you're Rob Pelinka, you have to weigh the immediate benefit of adding KCP against the long-term implications of that player option. $21 million is a significant number, and if KCP exercises that option next year, you're committed to that salary, whether it works out or not. But here's my take. If you're serious about winning a championship this year, you can't be afraid to take on some salary. You can't let financial considerations prevent you from making moves that improve your team. The other consideration is what you're giving up. Expiring contracts have value, but that value is somewhat limited if you're not planning to take on long-term money anyway. If the Lakers' strategy is to only use those expiring contracts for rentals or one-year deals, then their trade chips are essentially limited to what they can get for this season only. In that case, why not use them to get a player like KCP, who you know can help you win right now? There's also the question of whether this move alone is enough to put the Lakers over the top. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that adding KCP suddenly makes us the overwhelming favorites to win the championship. But what I will tell you is that it makes us better, and sometimes that's all you need. Championships are often won by teams that make the right moves at the right time, teams that identify their weaknesses and address them before the playoffs. Looking at the Western Conference right now, it's wide open. Oklahoma City is playing great basketball, but they're young and relatively inexperienced in the playoffs. Denver's always going to be dangerous with Jokic, but they've had their own struggles this season. The Clippers are dealing with health issues, as always. Golden State isn't the dynasty they used to be. Phoenix has talent, but hasn't put it all together consistently. This is a year where the championship is there for the taking. If you have the right pieces, adding KCP could be that move that takes us from a good team to a legitimate contender. It's not flashy, it's not going to generate the same headlines as trading for a superstar, but it's smart basketball. It's the kind of move that championship organizations make. They identify a need, they find a solution that makes sense, both basketball-wise and financially, and they pull the trigger. I also think there's something poetic about bringing KCP back. The core of LeBron, AD, and KCP winning another championship together would be a beautiful story. It would validate that 2020 championship, show that it wasn't a fluke or an asterisk, but rather the result of a winning formula that works when you put the right pieces together. The timeline on this is crucial. The trade deadline is approaching, and if the Lakers are going to make a move, they need to do it soon. These negotiations take time, and you want to give any new addition as much time as possible to integrate with the team before the playoffs. The longer you wait, the riskier it becomes because you're not giving yourself enough time to build chemistry and work out any kinks. From what I'm hearing, there are ongoing discussions, but nothing is imminent yet. These things can move quickly, though, and that's why I'm telling you to stay locked into this channel. When something breaks, you'll hear it here first. I'm constantly monitoring the situation, talking to sources, and bringing you the most up-to-date information as soon as I get it. So, here's what I want to know from you. Do you think bringing back KCP is the right move for the Lakers? Are you comfortable taking on that player option for next season if it means improving our championship odds this year? Or would you rather see the Lakers maintain financial flexibility and look for different options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I genuinely want to hear what Lakers Nation thinks about this potential move. This is your team, and your voice matters. If you want to stay on top of every Lakers development, every trade discussion, every piece of breaking news, make sure you're subscribed to Lakers News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. This is where you get the real analysis, the insider information, and the honest takes that you won't find anywhere else. Like this video if you found it valuable, share it with your fellow Lakers fans, and let's keep this conversation going. We're at a critical juncture in the season, and the decisions made in the next few weeks could determine whether we're celebrating another championship or watching from home. Stay engaged, stay informed, and let's ride this journey together. Until next time, Lakers Nation, stay loyal, stay loud, and let's get back to winning basketball.